On to cricket, our favourite subject. You've got your
Yeah,
England shirt on. I'm surrounded by the Pakistan kit here and feeling a little bit better. I mean, I don't know whether you can see both sides of me. It's all Pakistan kit. I've actually got on here a tie that you bought for me. I think it's the Australia series that you got me, or the South African one. So really, it's actually pinned up here.
yeah.
Yeah, thanks for that. England,
No, I remember
Pakistan,
that.
day three started really badly again for Pakistan. 30 for five when actually Fawad Alam joined and stuff. Is it four? I think there was 30 for four.
It
And
was 30
18,
for 4, yeah.
yeah, 30 for four, and then they put on a little bit of a partnership. And 75 for five, I was thinking goodbye. Kind of probably won't even reach 100. But then Mohammed Rizwan came in, the keeper. He batted really well in the last Test match as well, and he put up a good fight today.
Yeah, that partnership I thought was a really good a really good example of what we were talking about a couple of nights ago, where I know a lot of people will be dissatisfied with Azhar Ali's captaincy from the first Test match, and maybe also critical of him in terms of his individual batting form, because he's failed to score runs in pretty much the last 15 plus Test matches. But there's a phrase, isn't there, in international elite sport where what's the phrase, where form is temporary and class is
Temporary and
permanent?
class is permanent, yes.
Yeah, and I think he's one of those players that is a classy player, and I think he's also a classy guy. I've spoken to him a couple of times briefly because his son plays cricket, similar age to Charlie, and he plays for Oxfordshire. So I've met him down at Taunton, but he's I mean, the fact that he's had such a bad run of form for so long and has fallen in and out of favour with the the Pakistani selection committee and management team and so on, to come over to England, during COVID, bring some new players into the side and not have any form himself, to then do what he did today. And to be honest with you, it looked as though he'd worked really, really hard on just trying to change his forward press just technically ever so slightly, because he was getting lined up for LBWs pretty much every time he came out to bowl against the England lineup in previous games. He's definitely worked so hard, but he occupied the crease, and anybody who's played cricket to any decent standard knows that the longer you occupy the crease, the easier it becomes to bat. And I was just very pleased for him to get his 100 and be not out at the end.
Yeah, he's fine. I mean, he did really well. I've been his critic this year because I think as a batsman, he has struggled in English conditions. And somebody who has played previously, he should have been doing a lot better. But he was again, victim to the LBWs, prone to that. He's worked on it in this innings. You can see he's actually changed his stance a little bit and the way he stands, and so he's actually been. That's something that he's worked out maybe with Yunus Khan in the nets in the last few days and stuff, and that's actually proved that he's he's what he's done with the change he's made has been beneficial. He's also been, like I say, proven run getter at the highest level. He reached his 6,000 runs today, and that's an achievement for
Yeah.
anybody. You don't get that if you're struggling in the side or stuff. You have to be classy player to do that. So hats off to him, and it was fantastic even at the end. I mean, this is one of the things that we've been asking from Pakistan team, that what we need somebody to fight back, and that fight back came today through himself. Fawad Alam played a little bit, decent innings for once. He only, I think, got 20 odd something, but again, he was when the going was really, really tough when he came in with Azhar Ali, and they actually, played well together as a part.
Yeah, they did, and Test match cricket, especially when you had to chase the ball for 2 days and not get England out over those first 2 days. Test match cricket, comes into its own for it being so challenging mentally and physically. So those I think I said that when we last spoke that Root would, if given the opportunity, would bat for as long as possible on day two to really just tire out the bowlers, but also mentally, adversely affect the opening batsman for Pakistan. And with Jimmy Anderson, in the form that he is, that's kind of what played out at the end of day 2 and the start of today. But that puts into perspective again the partnership that Rizwan and Azhar Ali put together, because I think it was 70 odd for 5. It looked as though they might be all out for 150 and potentially all out for second innings with 2 days still to go. So they did really dig in, and I think Azhar Ali needs to be given all the plaudits that he deserves. 6,000 runs plus 18 Test match centuries. That is one of the greatest records in the history of Pakistan Test cricket. So Rizwan, I think, is a really good prospect. I think he's a great character on the field. He looks as though he's got lots of positive energy. His body language is always good. He's taken some very good dismissals behind the stumps, both up to the wicket and back to the quicks. But he can clearly bat as well. So let's hope that he can be supported and given a good run in the team, and given some confidence from how he's played this series.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, he's a point of this series. I mean, people have been talking about bringing Sarfraz back, but he has been, rock at the behind the stumps and been fantastic in difficult conditions. The other thing is that you just talked about the one man, Jimmy Anderson, got another 5. I think that's 29 times he's got 5 wickets, hasn't he?
Yeah, I heard that, and I think he was. I think just before that final dismissal, I think he just didn't think it was going to happen for him today, because I watched that sort of previous 20-minute, half an hour period when he had two very simple catches and one slightly more difficult chance dropped, and it just looked as though it wasn't going to work for him. But he doesn't really change his line and length. He just continues to kind of bowl in and around off stump, and he manages to move the ball both ways off the seam. And he got his just desserts, having had 3 chances put down in the previous. I think it was just the previous 2 overs or something. I mean, Broad, the chance that he dropped of Mohammad Abbas. Oh, was it off Mohammad Abbas? I think it might have been, or was it off Azhar?
No, it was Abbas.
But then that.
Yeah, it was actually Azhar Ali. It's Azhar Ali because they ran him out. Yeah, Azhar Ali.
Yeah. But then to get the run out, I think if you'd been watching it live, you saw that Anderson wasn't really celebrating the wicket because it should have been his. But in the end, he got his fifer, and I think you're right. I think it's 29 and almost 600 Test match wickets, which is quite remarkable.
Yeah, I think the other thing you have to give Jimmy Anderson credit for, when those catches were being dropped, he wasn't one who kind of got really angry, because you can see some players who get, start throwing their toys out of the pram, but he was really calm. He should have had those 3 wickets, and that should have been wrapped up. So he would have got his 600th wicket tonight. He's on 598, so he's just 2 away. That probably will be tomorrow. When the innings starts, he's bound to get a couple of those wickets and get that. And that is a fantastic achievement for somebody who's almost 38, but he's been in the game for 20 years. Absolutely fantastic achievement.
Yeah, I mean, he will probably, unless Broad catches him, I don't know of anybody else at the moment who's going to get anywhere near whatever he finishes on by the time he retires. And look at that, leading wicket takers in Test match history. He is the leading wicket taker as a fast bowler. The 2 or 3 that are above him are all spinners. So, I mean, his longevity and his ability to stay fit for as long as he has, and to still be able to maintain the pace at which he bowls and the control with which he can bowl too is pretty amazing. And I think he has calmed down a little bit. I think your point about not having it interesting, because it wasn't that long ago where he was very, very temperamental, and if somebody misfielded or somebody dropped a half chance, he let people know. But today he was obviously very upset, but he didn't kind of let it affect his body language once that over was bowled. When he got the chance again, he just came in and put it on the spot and got his just rewards in the end from the catch from Sibley.
I mean, Broad and Anderson have shown in modern day that they are the best opening partnership well, in the whole of history of the game, really, if you think about it. Because to get between them, they've got almost 1,100 Test wickets. That's unheard of and unlikely to be repeated, really, if you think about it.
Yeah, it would be good to. It's hard, isn't it, to kind of compare the likes of Lillian Thompson and maybe some of the Wasim Wakar and people like in the West Indies, Ambrose and Walsh and people like that, because the conditions in which they play in their home countries are so different. Whether you're in the subcontinent, Australia or England, clearly, if anybody who bats in the subcontinent or Australia, they want to test themselves when they come over to England, because the ball's different, the conditions are different, the wicket's different, the weather's different, so the ball swings more, it seems more, and that's what they've taken advantage of, because they both use those skills and have honed those skills over the years. But as you rightly point out, 1,100 wickets, probably by the time Broad finishes, it's going to be 1,250 wickets between them. I don't know if anybody's ever going to get anywhere near that as a pair of opening bowlers.
And also the other thing is, for young bowlers from wherever they're learning, if you look at from Pakistan side, you've got Shaheen Shah Afridi and Naseem Shah and a few others. They can watch these guys and learn from them, because if you think about Wasim Wakar, Ambrose, Walsh, Holding, Roberts, all those are past names, and the only way you can see them actually is on video. And you go on YouTube and look at how they perform this, because obviously they've never seen them live. Here they've had an opportunity to watch these two, from close quarters. They're on the same pitch, and just look at how they actually approach the game, even at the ages they are, because obviously they're both 30 plus. We were talking about last night Mohammed Ahmed, who said his body can't cope with Test cricket, and we said, well, look at these two guys. They managed themselves well over the years. The body's there, and despite with the age, they've actually got better. In terms of using the ball with skills, and said they may not have that same pace what they had 20 years ago or 15 years ago in their careers early on, but they've actually utilised their skills a lot better now.
You're right, they have got better. They've got to know their games better individually. I think they've also had to adapt. There've been times where their form's dipped, and they've managed to find a way to come back. As we were talking about a couple of days ago with in the case of Broad, I think it surprised a lot of people that he was left out of the first Test match against the West Indies, and that that actually spurred him on to really show the selectors that he was deserving of still being opening the bowling with Anderson at the other end. So yeah, they've got better over the years. They've kept themselves fit. I think central contracts have helped considerably, because they hardly play any county cricket, so they can keep themselves in shape. And although it's probably fair to say that there's more Test match and international cricket nowadays than there used to be, the schedule is much fuller. Because they can still rest and be careful about their bodies, and make sure that they're back in shape for when they next turn out for England in a Test match.
And how do you see tomorrow?
I think the weather's forecast showery and stuff, so I think it'll be an on-off kind of day, which will be difficult for the batsmen as much as the bowlers. I think I'd like to see it go into a fifth day, but I think it will be a struggle for Pakistan. I think mentally, despite Azhar Ali's fantastic, heroic innings today, I think that unless somebody else can go with him and make a big score, then I think it's unlikely that Pakistan will be able to take it into a fifth day. What about you? What do you think?
No, I can't see that. I think that what they could have done is Azhar Ali should have carried on just batting, come out as an opener, because he actually has opened for Pakistan, and maybe just carried on from where he is left off, because obviously he was not out to seen the ball really well. But other than that, I think maybe if somebody else, again, you need 2-3 big scores for Pakistan to save the match, and 300 runs plus is still they're behind, long way from even saving the Test match. I can't really see this going into the fifth. I think probably, and again, what you said about the weather, if the weather holds up, then possibly they might go into the fifth day. But I can see England wrapping this up tomorrow. And I see Jimmy Anderson getting his 600 wickets, and we could be celebrating that tomorrow.
Yeah, quite possibly so. Quite possibly so. I hope that the weather doesn't kind of get in the way too much of a result for the Test match either way. But again, that's a bit of the lottery of playing in England at this time of year, and obviously not helped by the bad light in the last Test match. But yeah, I would probably predict that tomorrow will be the day when England wrap up the series, and hopefully for Jimmy Anderson, he gets his 600th Test match wicket too.
Yeah, and you'll be celebrating by taking me out, I suppose. And we're going to Wimbledon Road this time.
Knutsford, I think we're going to go to Knutsford, aren't we?
Is that where we're going next? Knutsford? What's in Knutsford? Is there a curry house?
It's near where Michael Vaughan lives. We'll go around to Vaughan's house.
Yeah, Vaughan loves Pakistan team anyway, so we might as well go see you there. And you're our honorary Pakistani fan anyway. Shabash Mundia.
Shabash Mundia, yeah.
We'll have to get you another shirt, man. We'll have to get you a Pakistan shirt. I've got my Inzi shirt on my...
Yeah, well, I'm surprised I haven't got one, to be honest. I think I did used to have one. Remember from the World Cup in England in 1996 or whenever it was. I'm sure I had a Pakistan shirt from that World Cup. But yeah, I'm quite happy to be your only. I don't know whether I can say this, but your only sort of Gura Pakistan cricket friend. So so yeah, that's no problem.
Hey, I was going to use that word Gora, but then I thought it might be politically incorrect these days to say it to you. Gora, my Gora friend is online.
No. Well, it's always been a term of endearment as far as I'm concerned, so that's fine.
Yeah, no, you're always welcome as a honorary Pakistani fan. What we need to do is maybe next year's PSL, if it actually takes place, we need you to come out to Pakistan. We'll go out there and maybe do a program from the PSLs. Well, we need to get out there, lad. That's when then you get your Pakistan shirt on and stuff, and then see the beautiful sides of Pakistan. We need to do some tour. Actually, me and you could do a program from Pakistan and stuff, and we can have the Gora and a Pakistani. Desi and Gora show. We could call it Desi Gora show.
I don't know what the right way to describe it would be, but I think the two Ronnies was probably a really good example for me and you. Or 60. Do you remember 60 Seconds with Michael Slater? It used to be called 60 Seconds with Slats.
Yeah.
When he used to do little interviews after the end of a game between Australia and England. Well, we could do 60 Seconds with Sadiq, couldn't we?
Yeah, we could do that. That'd be good, actually. Jones and Sadiq show.
Yeah, why not? Why not?
Yeah. Well, that's all for today. Thank you very much for your input. Enjoy the evening, and inshallah, as they say, inshallah, if England win, we'll chat to you, Ben. Tomorrow I'll get my England shirt. I'll have to get an English shirt because for us, we can be both ways, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'll wear a Villa shirt tomorrow just so you can take the mick.
I'll get my Leeds shirt on tomorrow. Thank you very much, Tom, for tonight, and it's a pleasure talking to you. And thank you for everybody else who's just joined us. Please subscribe to our channel, and if you like it, share it as well. And we shall be back tomorrow evening with another show.